When I was a little kid, I never said I wanted to be a lawyer. It was never something that I said I wanted to be. So I feel like God just, he started working things out in my life unbeknownst to me that I can't see. I just see these small steps. He put the path in front of me and the desire came via the path. I can look back and see, oh my God, look how he did all these things to orchestrate this ultimate thing of being this great lawyer in Collin County, Texas. This little old girl from Dormilla Projects in Gary, Indiana, is in one of the richest cities in Texas practicing law. Indiana started a program called 21st Century Scholars, and that came about when I was in the 8th grade. And it was a program to give at-risk kids scholarships to go to college. Now, this is what changed my entire life. I didn't realize it until the 12th grade, but in the 8th grade is when we signed up for it. Between 8th and 12th grade, I probably wasn't the best kid on the block. My high school counselor, Mr. Walker, he was tasked with finding those kids, helping them get registered in college because for the people who had 21st century scholars. And he couldn't find me. He had no clue who I was, where I was. I never went to school, so he had a problem with finding Kamisha Dumas. And so, I mean, he could have just given up. He could have just said, I don't care, move on to the next name. But something in him told him to keep trying. And this is where I felt God took control and really showed up and showed out in my life. Because this man is at church outside of his job hours. And he recognized the name Reverend Dumas. And so he asked my granddaddy if he knew me. And my granddad said, yes, that's my granddaughter. And so him and my granddad got in the car after church and came to the projects. And once they found me, made me promise to go to school the next day and talk to Mr. Walker. I kept my promise. I went to school the next day and I went to Mr. Walker's office. I sat with him for about 2 hours, not really realizing what I was doing. I was literally just signing papers. But come to find out later, I was filling out college applications. I wish I could say that I left his office with renewed spirit, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be great, I'm gonna fly. And I think I was just going through the motions. I wasn't really, I didn't really have a desire to go to college. I didn't think that was possible. College to me was like Santa Claus. I mean, it was make-believe. It wasn't something that I really thought was possible. The moment where I realized that this was all real is my senior year. My auntie gave me a stack of mail. And I kind of was sitting there, everybody was loud and talking and just having a good time. And I remember going through this mail, and the first letter was like from Indiana University, Bloomington. And it said, congratulations, you've been accepted to this particular college. And at that moment, I'm like, well, okay, whatever. And so I opened the next one, and it was like, congratulations, you've been accepted to this college. And I was so confused. I mean, although it was so much activity going on around my head, inside of my head was pure silence, and all there was like me, God, and these letters. I was able to bring my grades up and graduate from high school. And went to Indiana State University studying criminology. And I was an honor roll student. I was driven. My goal was to get that college degree under my belt, and I graduated with a bachelor's in science. And when I graduated, I was thinking right before I graduated, like, what else? What's next? And I remember that conversation with Mr. Walker, like, well, I did tell him I wanted to be a lawyer. When I graduated from law school and walked across that stage, I felt like nothing could stop me. Every time I'm here in this courtroom, I feel like I'm a superhero. I feel like I'm doing what Mr. Walker did for me when he found me and he set me on the path I needed to be on to get to this point today. It's so important to always have a dream, have a goal, something to always strive for. Believe in yourself and believe that you can go so far regardless of your current situation. If you're poor, you're in a domestic violence situation, you're addicted to some type of drugs, that's not the end. So long as you have a dream and you have a goal that you're working towards, the sky is the limit.